Welcome to Side Note, the podcast, where we explore the intersection of business and intuition. I'm your host, Samantha Fackler, a Fortune 100 marketing advisor turned leadership coach who has worked with over 100 companies across 13 years and counting. And yes, I also keep crystals on my desk. I love astrology, and I'm a trained Reiki master. So I see the connections that other people miss. Join me for conversations that'll change how you think about business, life, and everything in between. This is the last episode of Side Note, and I'm emotional. I've learned so much. Whether you have tuned into one episode or you've been following along, I want to thank you for being here because this has been so deeply meaningful to me. And I've learned so much as a person about different subjects, getting to know different guests. I've learned more about myself and my voice. I've learned that I absolutely adore speaking and having a podcast. And I've also gotten to this point where it's time to let Side Note go in order to create space for something else and new to come in. When I first launched Side Note, the idea was pretty simple. I was going to experiment with a podcast, see how it goes, and I wanted to share stories behind these big ideas and narratives that everyone was talking about. I felt like there's so much noise and there's kind of an echo chamber on social media and in the digital landscape. I wanted my podcast to feel a little different. I wanted to interview experts that had these specific niche backgrounds to bring their expertise into the light, right? To spotlight them. But I also wanted to talk about what was happening in my business and what was I learning and seeing and work with clients. So I really wanted to share kind of no fluff stories. You know, sometimes the pivots, the doubts, the half-baked plans, and how these things and these people have all had their own breakthroughs, you know, as a mix of some inspiration and education for you. And this felt very resonant for me, this podcast today. Like every single episode felt like a story that needed to be told. And I'm so proud that we've done that through this podcast. And if I've learned anything through this life and through my business and mentorship and, you know, all the hell of a lot of inner work I've done, it's that sometimes we outgrow things. And for me, I did get to this point where I felt like I outgrew Side Note as a concept and as a name. I had an idea that Side Note would probably be renamed at some point once I had a better feel for what this podcast was. Sometimes you don't know it until you're in it. And then when you're in it, you see, oh, I actually want to take it this direction because this is what feels really good, really fun, and it's also what people want to listen to. So, you know, sometimes we outgrow things not because they're wrong in any way, but just because we're becoming someone new. We're stepping into a more true version of ourselves. And the TLDR of it all is that I've changed. My work has changed. And the way I want to serve, speak, and create, that's evolved too. There has been so much change for me in my business, not just the rebrand that has been happening, that is officially happening next week, June 3rd, but so much on the back end, so much me personally and how I approach things and my confidence and my vision and even my work with clients, right? It's like, I've gotten to this place where I really love where I'm at. And so I need to update things so that they match where not just I'm at today, but also where I'm going. So this is what's next. This isn't the end of the podcast. It's just the end of this version. So the new show will launch next week, June 3rd. It's called, I'm not going to tell you. If you want to learn, join the email newsletter in the show notes and you'll get the first episode next Tuesday and you'll learn the name this Friday. So you'll know before anyone else, before the public. My email newsletter is where I share all the goodies way ahead of time before anything hits Instagram or Substack or LinkedIn or any of the places that you may have found this podcast. But I will tell you the concept of this new show. It's not about manifesting stuff. It's not about manifesting millions of dollars or bypassing the real work of what it takes to grow a business, right? It's still very much about real conversations and what it takes to grow a profitable business that's purposeful and feels like you. We'll talk about things that bring the two worlds together that I come from, right? Business, but also the energetic, the intuitive, the slightly spiritual side of life as a business owner. And we're going to be bringing things together. So we talk about things like offers and energy, right? If you listen to last week's episode, I started to touch on this. There's going to be more of that. We're going to talk about things like confidence and the content that you're putting out. We're going to be talking about pricing things that is really rooted in truth for you and energetically clean, if you will, for the business, right? You'll hear guest interviews still, and I have some amazing guests that are coming through talking about really important work. You'll also hear more solo riffs. And yes, we will also continue to release guided meditations once or twice a month that are between 5 and 10 minutes long so that you can actually practice the things that we're talking about in real time. I am all about, making sure that you feel energy rich as an entrepreneur so that you're resourced to do your best, to think at the highest level, to make the right decisions, and to move through life as a business owner where you feel like you are leading and getting the time and flexibility that you need to live in a way that you want, to live in a way that you originally envisioned when you became an entrepreneur. So that is my intention, and that is where the podcast is going. I have guests who are major speakers on really deep topics. I also have speakers who are bubbly and fun and hilarious, who are authors and astrologers and creatives. So there will still be a high caliber, group of guests coming on the show. And I'm going to be speaking even more about, the behind the scenes of my business and what's working, what's not, and the experiments that I'm running with things like energy healing and business, and how do we bring the two together? What are different, thought exercises I'm trying out, and how have they performed? Also just speaking about marketing and brand, like growing your business, but in a way that's honest and with integrity. Because I think nowadays we're all sick of the ads that say stuff that just simply aren't true, right? It's like if we feel deeply connected to our business, we want to make it feel right. Like we don't want to feel sketchy about what we're putting out. We want to run a clean business, and that's part of this too. So, it's really about the journey of being a business owner that is a deeply spiritual one. Even if you don't identify as spiritual, the entrepreneurship journey, like I was saying in the beginning, it really requires us to let go of things so that we can meet new parts that we didn't know existed. And you're constantly learning how to lead and how to surrender and how to show up when it's hard. And that deserves a space of its own. So that's exactly what we're going to be moving into with the new show. If you've loved Side Note, then I think you'll love what's next even more. It's bolder, it's deeper, it's exactly where I'm meant to be right now. So I invite you to come with me, jump into the email newsletter and the show notes wherever you're listening. Make sure you click follow, and let's keep walking this path together. Side notes are never the end of the story. They are just the beginning.